Yes guys, welcome, Championship Manager 0102, part 3 of the fantasy football game, phase 2 of the fantasy football game of course. So we are at pre-season 3, so season 3 is about to kick in. I did the holiday run yesterday and I ain't gonna lie to you, there are some changes. Now I actually considered holidaying like more than one season at a time, otherwise I'll be here all fucking day every day for about 20 seasons. But I don't want to miss anything. So first things first, where do we start? The Undateables, the Untouchables were both promoted. I'm saying that very, very quickly. They are both promoted, which is massive, and the managers still remain. However, let's start in no particular order, but without giving too much away. Let's go from the top. Before I go any further, I have to have a quick announcement. I have to make a public apology here to Dave Tresidder and Trevor Choi, who I completely skipped. Now, if you didn't send me quite as many nudes, and Trevor, if you did send me enough nudes, then I would have skipped you. Simple as that, you couple of bastards. Now, genuinely, I didn't mean to skip you. So tough shit, really. Deal with it. Mistakes happen. I'm only fucking human. Okay, so start of season 3, as you can see in a date there. The transfer window has just opened, so it is open for another couple of months. Any transfers you may see may have happened during the start of the window this time last year, alternatively in the January window of season 2. Let's start with Daniel Young. Daniel Young is loan listed at the Undateables, didn't break in at all into the seniors, as you can see, he's yet to have a competitive game. Shane Wright at the end, I want to get confused here, so hang on a minute. So Undateables, I meant Undateables to Shane Wright. Now I have had a brief look, right, because obviously the Undateables and Untouchables keep getting promoted. Klopp and Guardiola, they're constantly keeping 3-5-2, which isn't helping the likes of Shane Wright and myself, of course, who is a fullback, which is a bit shit. Ian Wood, there's a lot of competition for left wing, but you can see Ian Wood made a move to Blackburn Rovers, £5.25 million for Ian Wood. Well done to you. George Wills looking good. He's getting the finishing attribute. The long shots are looking really good. Didn't really do much last season though, George. Ian Williams, probably the poorest of the strikers, but is building slowly and surely. And he had a couple of games last season. Wasn't very impressive in it though, to be fair. On to Marc Whittaker, who has just made a sensational £2.4 million move to Tottenham. That is a big move for Marc Whittaker. What can he do? Sam Wheatley, loan listed. He's got some real key attributes, but it just shows, don't it? He's got some real big attributes there, right? Long shots, off the ball decisions, but that's it really. He's got no strength, he's got no set pieces, he's got no influence, you know. So sort yourself out, Sam, who it looks like had no games again last season. Fucking liability. Steve Watson, he's got no attributes over 20, but he had over half a dozen games last season, as you can see. Scored a couple of goals. Could this be your season, Steve? Let's see. Trevor Choi, I think we better make sure we spend a little bit of extra time on this one. Trevor Choi, good positioning, hasn't broken to the Hong Kong setup yet. Good season last campaign. 48, 26 starts, 22 subs, 763. And just to go back to season 1, as you can see, he's had a couple of very good seasons. He has our Hong Kongy, if that's the right word. Tobias has broke, as we knew, I think, into the Swedish under-21, but his position is a bit shit. 3 games last season, yeah, nothing special from you. Thomas Tunnicliffe, in my opinion, one of the best goalkeepers in the game, probably in the world. Yeah, do you like that, Thomas? But looks the bollocks, and I think you'll find he played most of last season. Yeah, 54, only conceded 28. That was a good season from him. On to Leigh Truss now then. The Untouchables, he's not looking good. I think, in my opinion, he needs to move. He is out of contract at the end of the season, Leigh Truss. You need to move. Dave Tresidder. Okay, look at this. Do you know what? I've not even looked at this. This is insane. Absolutely fucking insane. You know what? I can't. That must be one of the best players in the game, and of all bastards it is, it's Dave. Fucking cunt. Quality season last season. Season 1 was very good. Season 2's just got better. Is he out of contract? No, he's got a new contract, it looks like. And that is just absolutely phenomenal. I do think he'll move though. On to Matt Tierney, the DC. He was a DMC in the previous game, if you recall. Matt will recall, because I called him a Steven Gerrard. But looking good, Matt Tierney. Sorry, I just can't get over Dave Tresidder. I've got to have another look there. Look at that. That is just ridiculous. On to Chris Thomas now. Chris Thomas, a forward. Chris Thomas, as we know, moved to Chelsea. Let's see. He didn't have a great run. I mean, he had plenty of games last season with Chelsea. 23 starts, 24 subs, 6-6-2. Not the greatest season in the world at all from Chris Thomas. But early days yet. Philip Stewart is getting the finishings there, the positions there. Look at that value, 13.75. What a season again for Philip Stewart. Another 50 games in all in total. So cracking. He's had 100. He's been involved in 100 games for the Undateables. Well done, you. On to, I don't want to miss anyone. Illy Stevkov, 5 caps in Macedonia now, looking good for a centre half. He is looking real good indeed. Not as good as Dave Tresidder, no, but you are looking really good, and it was another fine season from the Macedonian, as you can see. On to Leigh Silvester. Leigh Silvester, is he getting any games? Yeah, he's had some games last season, you see. 4 goals, 19 games, although 7 of them were only starts. Not badly. Marc Rutgers, defensive midfielder, loan listed for the Untouchables. He's out of contract, I think. With that sort of value, yeah, he's out of contract at the end of the season. He may get a move, he may get a new contract, who knows. Peter Rudd looks good. He does look good as well, 4.7. A good season from him. Not as good as the previous, but nevertheless, looking good, Pete, looking good. Adam Rowland, loan listed, as you can see. Again, it's that position, you know, it does make it difficult. He's out of contract, it looks like, at the end of this season, and I can't imagine him signing a new deal. So I genuinely hope he gets his move, I really do. Dez Robertson, we remember he went to Man United. Let's see how he got on. No, I think I saw he was going to Man United. I apologise there. He went to Man United. I think I saw it as I was doing my thing. Now, ironically, he was out of contract. I spotted that he was going on a Bosman, and then I read 5 million. I think what it is, a lot of you will know, if you're under 24 in England, you have to pay like a compensation package. Clearly, the compensation package set by the tribunal was £5 million. Dez Robertson is a Man United player, and when we're finishing at 27, that is like the next Rooney, isn't it? Well, I'll say Rooney, but it's a Scottish version of Rooney, which is a bit worrying. Okay, well done, Derek. Paul Roberts, loan listed, looks good, looks very good. He's out of contract. Good set of games last season. He needs to do something. Carl Rhodes, look at that crossing. I mean, again, he's an absolute monster, Carl Rhodes, at left back. Tackling 29, crossing 29, but the problem is they're not playing fullbacks. I mean, he had a handful of games last season, so that's quite interesting. He needs to get a move. Matty Price got decisions, he's got creativity. Matty Price, not really any games at all, nothing at all last season. He needs to do something. Matty Price. John Pickett's looking good. Look at those attributes, passing and tackling, especially as a centre mid, and a good season, 13 assists last season. On to Panos, Greek, under 21. Again, looking good, but he's a right back, and it's going to be difficult. We need, I say we, because I'm a fullback, we need to get a move. Pepe Page, right winger. It's not working out for him, is it? He's had a loan spell at Forest Green. Is he out of contract? No, he's not. So, okay, that's Pepe Page. Michael Page, attacking midfielder. Similar sort of story from him. I don't know, he didn't do too bad last season. He had a handful of games, and he is building slowly and surely. He's getting there. Daniel Osborne. A lot of competition up top, of course. Didn't have a great season last season, so sort it out. Paul Ogden, a right back. Probably one of the weakest fullbacks around. But if you can get a move, it can make all the difference. Stu Murtha, the crossing, 28, the right winger. He's got some awesome attributes, 21 assists. Didn't quite eclipse what he did the season before, but still another cracking season from Stu Murtha. Matt Meikle, you know, he's got like a balance, you know, of really good attributes, a bit like Dave. And as you can see there, Matt Meikle moved to Liverpool for 14.5 million. Now, judging by that history, he must have moved in the January window. I work it out in the January window. Or I don't think he'd have got 10 games in before September. So a big move to Liverpool. Didn't quite have a great second half of the season, but nevertheless, what a move for Matt Meikle. Hasn't broken into the Scotland setup as of yet. Into page number 4, Liam McShane. Liam McShane, I believe it was another great season from him, and I believe he's one of the highest value. In fact, he's not. I know who the highest value is, but I'll wait for that. Liam McShane looks good indeed. John McGrath is looking good on the left wing, particularly his crossing. But it wasn't as good a season last campaign as it was the season before. So sort it out, John. David McCintovic, again, it's the position I think which is the issue here. He needs to get a move. He's not even out of contract at the end of the season. He's still got 4 years. That's a long way. That's a long time to be sat with, on the bench. Andy Lowe, he's got some good attributes as a out-and-out striker. He needs a good run of games. That's the bottom line for Andy Lowe. Rob Lloyd looks good. He's getting quite a balance of attributes. 1.6. Oh right, okay. So he's moved to Sunderland. Didn't see that at all. Was he on a? I think, like somebody else, I think he was on a rolling contract, weren't he, last time, if I remember rightly. So he moved to Sunderland. Not a bad season, I guess. Didn't quite hit the benchmark of 700, but Rob Lloyd is in the Championship with Sunderland. And I think the move is a good move for him, in all fairness. And I bet you that turns out to be one of the best moves as opposed to moving to a big side. On to Luke Langley, centre-half. Not as good a season as the first season. Still improving though, no doubt about that from Luke. Brian Lacy, that position is the issue, because other than this position, look at his attributes, they look good. And you can see he's now at Millwall. £4.6 million to Millwall, which is, I believe, you know, another one of those really good moves. Doesn't have to be a top flight team. Matt King, attacking midfielder, needs a bit of work, I think it would be fair to say. Needs some game time as well. Daz Jones, slowly and surely, good amount of games last season, not quite as successful as the season before. That's a definite from Daz Jones. Gary Johnson is looking absolutely remarkable. Again, no, not as good a season last season for him, but I think that's due to the fact he's playing with Timo Werner. More about that in a moment. So well done, Gary. Michael Humphreys is getting there, isn't he? He's getting there slowly and surely, although his loan spell at Millwall didn't work out quite as well as he wanted, I don't think. And I've got familiar territory there. Michael Humphreys ended up at Millwall. I'm pretty sure he did on that first fantasy game we did. But nevertheless, he has still got 2 years left on his contract. On to page number 5. Ross Horn again. DMCs, they look good, don't they? If you've chosen the right attributes, you look good. He's out of contract at the end of the season. Will he sign a new one? Will he get a move? Will he get some game time? James Hollyoak looks one of the best central midfielders around. Start worried about his future at the club. That's interesting. Considering you've got 5 years left, but another good season from you. Like Daz Jones, not quite as good as the season before, although he scored more goals. Well done, James. On to Chris Henson. Looks good. The position's the issue here. He needs a move. No doubt about that from Chris Henson. Steve Harl is looking absolutely phenomenal, and look where he's moved to. He's at Brentford, off the ball, finishing, are both 27, and his move was 6.75. He hasn't done brilliant, to be honest with you, Steve Harl, but he is in the Premier League, and he is there. On to Dan Hanshaw, finishing, dribbling, looked great. Newcastle United paid out £14.5 million, and ain't it funny, right? That would have been probably in the August window. And you see he had one game last season for the Undateables, and he got a hat-trick, he got a 10, I'm assuming he started that game, yeah, and Newcastle then prized him away. So well done Dan Hanshaw, who is now playing in the Premier League. On to Justin, goalkeeping. Mate, you need to go, more about goalkeeping in a moment though. Michael Godfrey, you've got some work to do there, the attacking midfielder. All that being said, not a bad season for you last season, but still need to do some work. Kevin Gilmartin, the right back, well, the worry of the full-backs is there for us all to see. Jay Geneva, that position, you know, the position's a bit of a shit position. Get your move, you need to get your move, Jay Geneva. Eben is also, that is fairy tale, because Eben is a big Newcastle United supporter. So Eben has moved to Newcastle United, £9.5 million. So that he probably moved in the August window as well after 3 games, and that is brilliant. Eben, I know you'll be delighted with that. And as you can see from Eben, 5 caps in Nigeria and 1 goal. I didn't even realise that. Well done, Eben. Really pleased for you. Tim Edwards, he was on a rolling contract, if I remember. So he was released, and Everton have picked him up. It's a good move. It's a really, really good move for Tim Edwards. He might get some game time now. So well done you. Page number 6, G. John Davies. Yeah, need a bit of work, G. John. Although your loan spell at Doncaster didn't work quite too well last season. 78 conceded. Still a bit of time there. Philippe has broken to the Brazilian under 21, but he's one of the worst players. I hate to say, Philippe. You need to do some work. Jeff Cowell made a big move to Aston Villa, but is now loan listed after 18 games last season. We'll see what happens. Shane Cousins looks absolutely brilliant, and he's made his move to Blackburn Rovers for £4.3 million. Big move for Shane Cousins. You are in the Championship though, so don't panic. Max Cormack, another goalkeeper, looks good. Max Cormack. Shrewsbury, well, that was season 1, weren't it? Didn't do nothing last season, Max. I think you need to move. That's the bottom line. Hadrag looks good, but again, I don't think. Yeah, you 29 games, so not too bad, Hadrag. You can get some games on. Ashley Coghlan, again, another goalkeeper, not looking too bad, but it's just about game time. And goalkeeping is such a difficult position. Michael Clarkson, another goalkeeper. No, hardly any game time at all. Ashton Clare, look at that dribbling, look at the long shots, look at the passing. Ashton Clare, though, look at that, 5 games last season, 4 starts, 4 goals, 8-6-0, give him a chance. He's out of contract at the end of the season, he's loan listed. Wayne Chester looks good, a good centre half, solid season, last campaign, 40 games in all competitions. On to me, well, I look good, don't I, for a right back, but the issue is, of course, our managers are not using right backs and left backs. A couple of wankers. Final page now. John Chambers, similar situation to myself and the rest of the fullbacks. Looks good, but not getting any game time. Although we had 5 games in total last season, 7-6-0, did very well. Baz Chambers, central midfielder, building up gradually around the board, and a good season last season, better than the season before. 11 assists. Adam Bush, he's picking up. There's no doubt about that. And hatful of games last season, 14 goals. Well done, Adam Bush. Roxy Brown has made a move to West Ham United for 5.25. That is a big move. That is a good move for her, because with that position she weren't going to get much game time. Not sure when that move would have happened, because she's not played at all. But this is a chance for Roxy Brown. Her husband, Marc Brown, is still at the Untouchables. Left back situation at the fullbacks, needs some game time. Morton, he looks a fucking bollocks. Morton with 17 assists last season, did very well, almost as good as the season before. On to Mark Bonney, a strong centre half. Look at that position and look at that tackling. Solid season from Mark Bonney, absolute solid. Jamie Baxter is getting there slowly and surely, loan listed. Couple of games last season, Jamie. You'll get there. Are you out of contract? No, you've got 2 years left on your deal. William Anderson is the highest valued player out of the 77 of us, £17 million. Another great season from him. Well done you. Paul Adams, look at that. Long shots, 27. Paul Adams is one of those players that's really generalised. He's absolutely fucking brilliant. In all fairness, he deserved more of a hatful of games than 15 starts. He looks great. And finally, Arnie, he's looking good. He's looking fucking great. Capped for Norwegian under-21s, and another good season from him. So forgot we had 2 Norwegians. Okay, so let us check. Now I have checked something to save me a bit of time on the video. None of us won any awards, but it's going to be really for next season. So let us check now then the Untouchables. So let's take a look now at domestic. So last season they came second. The Untouchables came second in League One. You can see 41, 42, 126 points. And the Untouchables last season went out the FA Cup to Rotherham on what I assume is penalties. You can see we knocked about the football Vans trophy, or the football league trophy. They got beat by their rivals. And in the League Cup, let's see where they went out. They went out on penalties to Watford. Now the Untouchables this season have not bought anybody, and there's nobody in the pipeline. So remember, they brought in, oh there you go, January, look at that. Now, this is what I meant about goalkeepers, particularly at the Untouchables. Look who they bought, Dean Henderson. And Dean Henderson obviously had 26 games, so that's not good news for John Davies, Michael Clarkson, Hadrag, Lee Truss, and they also had a youth academy graduate, as you can see. So in terms of goalkeepers, they've got 6 on the books. So that's the situation over there. The Undateables now then. The Undateables, you probably worked this out, they won the league last season in emphatic style, 128. Now not only did they win the league, but they also retained the Football League trophy. They won it the season before, if you may recall. They've won it again, and we should be able to, we may be able to see it. Yeah, let's see who scored the goals at Wembley. Philip Stewart and Morton. Oh, look at that. That was a, was that golden goal? Did we have goal? I don't know. I think we got that removed, didn't we? Yeah, it was just extra time. Okay, let's just have a check where they got the FA Cup. They got knocked out to Man United, and in the League Cup they were knocked out on penalties to Stoke City. There you see. Look at the purchase this season on the Bosman. 36 years of age, Cavani has joined the Undateables. Let's see how he flares up. He had a good season with Man United last season. I don't know, it's hard to say. We just have to check last season again in case they brought anybody in January. So that is that, and I don't think anyone's gone. So we know that Dez Robertson has gone to Man United, so that was like for like. And Marc Whittaker, of course, has gone as well. We know Matt Meikle, Dan Hanshaw has gone to Newcastle, Brian Lacy, Ian Wood, Eben. So Dan Hanshaw and Eben are both, well, you can see the dates of when they left actually. Steve Harvey-No's gone. Rob Lloyd was given a free transfer, so Sunderland didn't come up on the scrap heap. And that's where we are at. So very quickly, let's, I don't want to go to that, what we're going to do that. So let's just do it by value. Our highest value player is, as I said, William Anderson. Our lowest value player is Marc Rutgers. John Davies, what you've got to remember, right, is you'll find that these guys, yeah, look, these guys are lowest value are out of contract at the end of this season. Oh, look at that! Can you believe that? I'm the lowest value player who's not at the end of this not at the end of this year for a contract. What a wanker! So what I'll do is, I think within a couple of seasons, I'll then go to individual player achievements. But basically, you know, as the Untouchables and stuff, we are all in the Championship. Now, we'll see how we all flare up. Who's going to remain in Undateables? So we've got a title each, which is good to see. Let's have a look at the history then. So competitions. So, yeah, they've won it twice, haven't they? So the FA Cup. That tells us, I could have just done it this way, couldn't I? Third round. League 2, yeah, we come second on that. Championship, well, let's see how we get on. There you go, looking good, isn't it? That looks good. Now let's take a look. This is something I should have pointed out before. Let's have a look at who was Player of the Year. First season one at the Undateables was Philip Stewart. No, I got that wrong, didn't I? That was top goal scorer. Fans Player of the Year was Philip Stewart, and Emiliano Buendia was Player of the Year last season. One of the new recruits, of course, that they bought from Aston Villa. So Philip Stewart, from an individual perspective, well done you. Let's take a look now. Then let's go straight to the Untouchables. And the Player of the Year, William Anderson, season 1, Liam McShane, season 2. And let's have a look at top goal scorer, William Anderson, season 1, Liam McShane, season 2. That is League, remember. Is that League? Let's just check. No, it's not League. That's all competition. That is all competition. 33. In fact, I think there might be League, isn't there? Top League goal. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, League. Dickhead. So if there's anything you want to see, guys, do let me know. Assists, right? Okay, we've got to look at assists. So the Untouchables, Stu Murtha last season, 21. Daz Jones, season before. Let's go to the Undateables. Well, that Buendia's done brilliant, isn't he? Wanker. James Hollyoak. Who's going to get their moves? You know, who is going to get their moves this season? It remains to be seen. But basically, going back to what I said about, I know that there was nobody won anything. Oh no, we don't want to look at that shit, do we? We just want to look at the awards. There you go. So the Ballon d'Or, Mbappe won it, but can any of us do it? Can any of us do it? The African, I mean, Eben, I'd love to see you get that ahead of Mane and Salah. I really would. Someone's played a year. Yeah, whatever. I've got Brazilian League Open, I think. I know I've got the American League Open this time around. Quick note, we've not got our Oceania holder Footballer of the Year. He's not in this game. End of story on that. So yeah, so that is where we're at, guys. So hopefully I've not missed anybody out. If I have, tough shit, mistakes happen. I have to say, right, if I'm going to take a pot shot now at who I think looks the bollocks at most, I would have said James Hollyoak, but I said James Hollyoak. Let's just have a look at the two people that stick out for me, and they are James Hollyoak sticks out for me. But I think there can only be one player, and it really does pain me to click onto this guy. It really pains me so much to have to speak whilst this bastard's on my screen right here. I've got to go to work now, and I'm going to feel sick, right, saying this. But I hope you get injured. I really do. I hope you get like an injury which would put you out for like 9 months, 10 months. And just a quick one. So let's just quickly go. The Undateables still going. Jurgen Klopp. I do wonder if Mourinho will leave. Pintus is still there. Sam Pope is still there. And the physio, whoever the physio was, I forget who the physio was that I named. I think it must be that Campo. And just for the Untouchables, that is still the same, I believe. Guardiola, Ancelotti, Rory is still there. Firmino, the physio, I forget who the scout was. Jim Laura, I don't know. I'm sure it might have been Jim Laura actually. I remember the Northern Irish. Okay, that's that, guys. Now remember something, right? Next season, assuming the Undateables and the Untouchables get promoted, assuming both of which will have to renovate their stadium. We'll see how that flares up, because it has to be an all-seater, and I specifically did this. Now, in terms of the money, very, very quickly, who was it that brought it? So it was Undateables that spent a fortune on fucking Timo Werner. 45 in the bank, 40 to spend, and the Untouchables have less, interestingly, and yet they're interesting. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, guys, till next time, take it easy from me. Now, fuck off.